So I wrote some notes about this over the weekend, and I wrote down here, most agents come into the real estate business with energy, enthusiasm, and high hopes, right?
Yes.
Okay? Some do really well, and some not so much. And worse, that the ones that don't do really well kind of leave the business. In my years of working in this business, the real estate business is very different than a normal job. Those of us that have had quote unquote real jobs or normal jobs, this is very different. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to line out some traits of why people don't do well in this business and or leave the business. So I wrote down here 5 habits of defective real estate agents. 5 habits of defective real estate agents. Okay? So, not in any particular order, but the first one I wrote down here is they have no structure or they lack discipline. They have no structure or they lack discipline. If you had a conventional sales job, you'd be working normal hours or whatever the normal hours of your employer were, and they would want you to come to work at a certain time, right?
Yes.
And you would be able to go home at a certain time unless certain expectations weren't met. So I kind of look at it this way. If your employer were paying you, let's back up just one step. A lot of us in this room, their minimum goal is $100,000 a year. Minimum goal. Some 150, some 200. How much would an employer pay you per month if they were paying you $100,000 a year? Anybody know? $8,333 a month. So if your goal was $100,000, if they were writing a check to you every month, they would be writing a check to you for $8,300 per month. If somebody were writing you a check for $8,300 a month, every month, what would they expect you to do on a regular basis?
Work.
Show up.
Be on time.
Shh, be on time. Okay. Well, there's one. Good, we're going to write that one down. What else? What else would they expect?
To work consistently.
Sorry?
To work consistently.
To be consistent, to show up and be consistent. Okay, what else?
Don't miss work too often.
Don't miss work too often. Okay.
Be efficient.
Be efficient or productive, yes. What else?
Do what they're told.
Do what they're told. Okay. What else?
Don't be on social media during work hours.
Don't be on social media during work hours. So if you're asked to work a certain job, you would have that job, and here's the tasks, and you'd have to do it, right?
Right.
So here's what's interesting. A lot of us don't think $100,000 a year is enough. So we want more, right?
Right.
Okay, I get it. So if you want $200,000 a year, how much would, and an employer gave you the job for $200,000 a year, okay? You got a job for $200,000 a year, right? Good job, right? How much a month is that? $16,666 a month. So if an employer was paying you $16,000 a month, what would they expect from you now?
A lot.
To be at your
Hustle.
To be at your best, hustle. I would never want you to ever go home. I'd chain you to one of the posts.
I would imagine many responsibilities.
Many responsibilities. Certainly to do the activities that are required of that job description, whatever that job description was, right?
Right. Yes. Every day.
Every day. So kind of what happens is that we don't have the discipline or we don't take the discipline, or we don't do it, or because we have options not to do it, or we think we have options not to do it, we don't do what we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do it. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. If you want $300,000 a year, which, by the way, is Centurion. Centurion's $282,000. That's Centurion. Okay? So let's call it $300,000. How much is that a month?
$25,000
It's right at $25,000 a month. So if somebody was writing you a check for $25,000 a month, because your goal is $300,000 a year, because what you want to do is you want to hit Centurion status, they would expect you to do, you'd show up on time, maybe a little early, right? You would work until 4:35, 5:36, 10 o'clock, right? If your job was to hit 40, 50 contacts a day, would they expect you to do the 40, 50 contacts a day? Would they expect it every day?
Every day.
Every day, right, Gary?
Yes.
Every day. If they said preview 5 houses a day, 5 days a week, what would the expectation be?
7 days a week.
7 days a week. Okay. You get what I'm saying here?
Yep.
And yet, we don't do the work required for the $200,000 or $300,000, and we're expecting the $200,000 or $300,000, and we're frustrated we're not getting the $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 because we're not doing the activities. I wrote down here, successful agents make sure they preview properties and they prospect. They follow up with their leads and they know the scripts and dialogues and how to handle objections. Hey, how about that? Handling objections. So if you were working for me and you were earning $25,000 a month, would I expect you to know the objection handlers? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, well, why don't you expect you to know them? Because you have options.